This is DeJuan Walker, University of South Alabama, um, defensive back coach. I just want to talk about some defensive back drills that we do to implement in our practices to try to match our 3-4 coverages. And we'll talk about some different things with the cornerback position and the safety position. And another thing that's really huge in what we do and we talk about all the time is tackling. But whenever you play a 3-4 defense and you have that much spacing, we like to talk about tackling in grass and going in and doing some different things. But this is our overall drill sheet talking about defensive back drills, and I'm going to talk through some of these drills. And the three different areas we talk about is footwork as a defensive back is vital. The next thing we talk about is breaks because that's fundamentally the difference in making a it's a small line between being a good player and great player. We like to focus on breaks, and then positional works, how we'll break them up and do some things position specific. For the most part, we like to start with a pedal. I believe at every level of football, you need to be working some back pedal, and the more they do it, the better they become at it. I even challenge kids to just walk backwards sometime in the hall and work on turning your hips, going to class or something like that. Just the more you do a thing, the better you're going to become at it, the more reps you can get. But we want them to have a good stance. And the thing we like to talk about with our stance is comfortable stance. We don't like for you to get too low or be too high, but we want you to be comfortable. And we say we want you always on the ball of your feet, not letting your heels touching the ground at all because you don't run forward with your heels touching. We definitely don't want you running backwards with your heels touching. Anytime your heels touch the ground when you're running backwards, more than likely you're going to tumble over and fall if you're not careful. So we start by just doing a slight slow pedal. And one more thing about our stance, we have shoulders over knees and knees over toes. Those are the angles we have in our body. We like to keep power angles in our body. We talk about shoulders over knees, knees over toes with our eyes up, hands up. Those are things we talk about with our stance. Now we'll start with a slow pedal, and all it is a walk backwards. It's a slow walk backwards without your heel touching. Everything in a straight line. We talk about our elbows being at 90 degrees tight to our bodies. Whenever we run, we like to have everything going in a straight line when we run forward. Same thing as we go backwards. Now, a lot of times you'll see the defensive back's knees buckle outside, and I like to show them that on film that you don't run like that running forward. So however you run forward, that's the picture we should have going backwards. We want to mirror that picture. So that's a slow pedal we'll start with and get a lot of work just walking it. And then once we speed it up, we want it to look the same. Next thing we'll have is a control pedal. And we'll start with the slow pedal. Next thing we have is a control pedal. And these are drills we'll do with cornerbacks and safeties, or nickels or Sams or jacks. These are guys that'll be doing all of these drills just to, number one, to develop footwork, and number two, to be fundamental with our coverages. But the next thing we talk about is control. So we'll start with that walk backwards. Then they'll give a control command. When they receive that command, they sprint backwards into a full speed back pedal. And then I like to bring them back down to a slow pedal. So it's control, real slow, speed, real fast, back to control. And what I'm looking at there is to see if their posture changing at all. If they get lower to go fast or stand up to go fast, I want to make sure they maintain that same level between speeds. So that's one thing we work on a lot with back pedal. Some more things we'll work on is some weaving, making sure your hips stand square and shoulders stand square to the line of scrimmage, but still getting off of the line on the weave and getting ready so we can break in any direction to keep our hips square. The next thing we talk about is shuffle. With the corners, we shuffle a lot. That's where our butts be to the sideline, and we make sure our toes are either pointing slightly inside and they're locked in where our hips won't turn, but we shuffle, and The coaching point on our shuffle is we always want to toe in the grass. We want it to look like we're a typewriter. So we want to toe in the grass at all times. So we're not. It's not a glide. It's not galloping, but it's a shuffle. We're really getting it up and down really fast, shuffling out of there. Another thing we'll talk about is we'll do is hip turns. We'll do that off of the back pedal, where we'll go slow pedal, speed up, and then turn and run a straight line. And the things we talk about there, number one is posture. Number two, as we turn, keeping our elbows and our chins tight to our shoulders and to the body for the elbow, and to snap it around so we can turn all in one step. Not take 3 tiny steps to turn, but turn all in one step to continue to run. And we really emphasize exploding out of that run once we get turned around. And we also come back and we'll do a 360-degree turn where we open and you end up turning a full circle coming back down. And it all starts with the back pedal. Control pedal, speed, and then 360 all the way back, sprinting back through the line where they started. So those are all drills we'll do with our corners and our safeties. Now you see here where we got a motor drill. Our motor drill is only foot fire, keeping our hips square, keeping leverage on the ball. So if the ball was here where this cursor is, the coach will have the ball in his hand. He'll just walk and move at angles, and there's to keep that leverage wherever they start. Keep that leverage, the distance and the width. Don't let it close. Keep that leverage wherever it ends up. They should have that same leverage the way they started. So that's very, very important what we do with our safeties, because they're on the inside receiver so much, and I cover zero coverage, doing a lot of foot fire. Breaks. Quick story on Deion Sanders, one of the greatest defensive back players to play in our history. But before a game, Deion would love to come out, and a lot of people would think he's putting on a show for the crowd, but really he was preparing himself for the game, because the difference between a good and a great player is going to be the break of the defensive back. He'll always come out and he'll work 30 minutes on getting his foot in and out, getting out of having the proper leverage, getting his foot in and out. And the crowd is going crazy, and he's loving it. But he was working on his break, because he understood that that's going to be the difference in making a highlight or being on somebody else's highlight. So it's 3 breaks we work on, and we work on these as often as we can. Number one is going to be the break where we work straight back, straight ahead. That break is going to be, we'll work at it in different. We'll do a slow pedal with it. We'll do a speed pedal with it, where we'll control speed, breaking straight back. And anytime we do that, the coaching point on our breaks are, I don't like to overcoach it, the T-step or the open step or the end step. We want to get as many cleats as we can in the ground. We want to keep our shoulders down, and we want to get in and out as fast as possible. In and out as fast as possible. And we really want to emphasize exploding out, and sprinting all the way through to finish the play. Sprinting all the way through, not pulling up, but sprinting through. We accelerate as we go. That's the biggest things out of our break, and we're going to break straight back. And every time we do that, we'll either have a ball where you got to react to a ball, where we'll even drop a tennis ball and you're trying to get back to it before it even hit the ground. Little things like that, just to motivate those guys to get back through and finish the play. Even tackling, we'll come back and we'll balance up on a receiver whenever we break. Get working on tackling at all time. We never want to just end the drill. We want to finish the drill, either tackling, catching the ball, doing something to finish the drill, so we can always enhance the things that's so critical in a game. Because we all understand if you don't tackle the ball, it carries 6 points. And in our position, we are the last line of defense. And if you don't make a play on the ball, it could be 6 points. So those are things we want to work at all times. The next break is going to be a 45-degree break. A straight break, they'll go back and come straight back down. Now 45-degree, we'll go back and we break back to the line at 45 degrees. Break back at 45 degrees. And we're going to finish this drill with the ball, we'll finish this drill tackling, we'll finish this drill some kind of way to where we're resembling finishing a play. So we go straight back, 45, and now the next thing we'll do is go at 90 degrees. We go back now and we break straight down that line at 90 degrees. Now this is a competition drill, and there's safeties and corners alike, all doing the drill together. But on the 90-degree drill, whenever you go, we line them all up, and they'll be straight across on this line, everybody equal distance apart. But when they go back and we break them to a certain direction, and I'll go ahead and let them know before we get started that we're going to break to the left. So everybody understand that. So everybody backpedal, and we break to that side. Well, if I'm out in front, I can't let this guy behind me touch me. And if I'm behind somebody, I got to go touch them. So you got competition going there, everybody working on their breaks, everybody getting better. And that's something that the guys get a lot of kick out of, and you get some quality work out of. Anytime we can compete, that's something we can do, because that's what a football play is every down anyway. You know, I tell them a lot that in the game of football, the whole game is a war, and each play is a battle within that war. And our goal is to win all the battles, so eventually we can win the war. So that's what we're doing in footwork. That's what we do with our breaks. And now positional work, we'll come out and we'll do some route reading, okay? Whenever we get to this point, we read routes with twin receivers and single receivers. We'll take a single wide receiver and look at, number one, his alignment, number two, his release. And that's going to tell us a lot as far as what is going to be his route. How is he coming off? And that's something you get a lot in film study and all that kind of good stuff. Which foot does he have up is the difference. You know, if you look at a wide receiver, it means something whenever they swap feet and all that kind of good stuff. It depends on if they're going to block some kind of, if they're going to block the force guy, what are they trying to do? What are they trying to do? If he got his outside foot up, is he trying to get inside on me quick now? But those little things are going to tell us a lot about route reading. At the safety position, we're going to do a lot of one high safety drill, where we'll line a safety up in the middle of the field, 10 yards away, and on the command, he backpedal, and he only break on the long arm when the quarterback or the coach take his front hand off the ball. Is the only time he's going to come out in the middle of the field. Outside of that, he stays coiled in the back pedal until he know where to go. So a quarterback can't look you off in any kind of situation, but you can play the ball honestly. Now, also press technique. Our press technique, we're going to go in, and safeties and corners alike will work some of these. But safeties will mostly work some box fits, since they're into the box so much, doing different things there. And but press technique with our corners, we're going to play a basketball technique where we're on the line of scrimmage. Our feet are square. We have a shade side. If I'm on the number one receiver, I'm an inside shade, because his grass is on the inside unless he have a cut split. Anytime we take a shade, we always look to see where the receiver is leaving his grass. More than likely, if it's a number two receiver or slot receiver, his grass is going to be on the outside. So we'll take an outside shade. Now, how do we define shade is we take our nose on that guy's ear, on the shade side ear. That way we're always within the frame of the receiver. We never want to get outside the frame of the receiver. That keeps them from running a straight line down the field. And that's something we talk to our guys about is, you know, you don't go into an offensive guy coach's room and see on his board where he have a route tree drawn and it's not curved lines or it's not scribbly lines, zigzag lines. Usually when you go in their rooms, they show straight lines, straight angles. So that's what we want to keep the offense from doing. That we feel like that's going to throw off the timing, that's going to discourage them, and we don't want them to run straight lines on the field. That's one of the biggest thing about our press technique, what we're trying to get out of it. But that's something that we like to combat the offense with. And press technique is a basketball technique, meaning if I'm between the point guard and the goal, his job is to get to the rim, and that's what we're trying to keep him away from. So we do more backing up and giving than attacking. Now in our dog technique, it's going to be a little bit different. It's where we can attack. But one thing about our dog technique, we only use it two ways. If we're playing zone coverage, a true cover two, or if we're on the goal line and we don't have to worry about the vertical route. We could play dog technique. So it's more aggressive playing a dog technique than it is playing press coverage just backing off. Now, for the safeties, box fits, we're going to work two high safety. We already talked about the one high safety. Now we're going to work the two high safety and fit the box. And we also have a PowerPoint on that where I'm going to show you how we work our safeties to fit the box. We also work our two high safeties in pass coverage. For instance, we're playing Brown Sam, and we're using two high safety, and the game plan for the week is to cover halves. Well, both safeties take a pat on the snap of the ball, and then they backpedal into the half of the field that they will be covering. Now they'll stay there, and they won't make a break until the long hand come off the ball, reading the quarterback's eyes. We don't want to cover grass. We want to make sure we're covering receivers. Now, the next thing we could game plan for, if we're going to go in, we can play the quarterback flow. What we call the quarterback flow is whenever you look at the quarterback eyes, if he's looking at the left half of the field, both safeties play that half of the field. Now the safety if the quarterback looks to the safety's left, the safety on the left side plays the deep route to the left. The backside safety plays the second route. But that's ways we can do our box fits with our safeties, and the other one is stack, where we can go in and run a stack where one safety is going to run down to the low hold and the other one's going to be a high safety. And they both read the quarterback's eyes and break on the balls. Now, as far as our box fits, this is the way it'll be set up. We can have cans. You can use players. I use both. I like to use players right here standing up, and on the snap of the ball, I like for them to move one way or another, just resembling a zone or something. But I even pull one coming back to the other side. But I like for our safety to see that these gaps can change. But what we'll do is use a rule that we'll have for our safeties. Don't go till you know, but when you know, go. And these are box fits for any kind of cover 4 or Brown Sam. We talked about Brown Sam, which is our two-man before. These are our box fits for our safeties. Alignment-wise, we have ball foot up, and we're also going to come in and have a yard outside the end man on the line of scrimmage. Ball foot up, a yard outside of the end man on the line of scrimmage. Now we're going to read off the end man on the line of scrimmage. We're going to read his block. On this side, it happens to be a tight end here, so we're going to read the wide receiver. We call him the wide receiver. So we're going to read run or pass. He could do one or two things. He can either come off. Well, he ain't going to come off, but the tight end can come off and release and be pass. And I'll have to take him if he's a vertical route, depending on the coverage. And if we read pass where he released, the first thing I'm going to do after pat, that's my read, pat, give me time, have patience to read. Now I can get out of there and backpedal. And now we go to our second read, which would be the quarterback. Okay, we're reading the quarterback out depending on the game plan, how we're going to play our safeties. Now, the next thing he could do is run block. And we talk about a drive block, down block, any kind of fan block. Now, once we see that, we pat. Now we're going to a cross read to the backfield, through the end man line of scrimmage, all the way to a cross read. And then once we do that, we're going to web it up. Now, what we call web is this. If I'm the safety to this side, I'm going to keep the ball on my left shoulder. If I'm the safety on this side, keep the ball on my right shoulder. Okay? And these are what we call box fits drills. Now, we'll be running a play over here. It might be a zone to this side. So everybody will be zone blocking here. Everybody's zone blocking here. I'm pat. Now my job is to contain the ball. I'll go down. I'll keep it contained. My job is to shuffle backside, shuffle first, keeping my shoulder square, and then I close on it. And that is what we call webbing on the ball. Okay? Now, for instance, we got it right here, zone keep. We're playing with our eyes. Still going back to our rule, don't go till you know. But when you know, go. Playing with our rules. I'm reading through the end man on the line of scrimmage, reading through this for strong safety, reading through the end man on the line of scrimmage. When the ball is snapped, the first thing I do is pat, pat. I pat, pat. Now going through my read, he's zoning or fanning. He's not pass releasing, so now I go to my cross read, and my back is coming to me. So I'm sitting, being patient, pat, pat, quarterback pull. Now, if I make a mistake, I'm gonna make it on my back coming to me, the one I'm cross reading on. If I make a mistake, however, we like to play with our eyes. Play with your eyes. Know where the ball is. Know where the ball is. Patience, patience. Then it's angles. Now, the ball is pulled. Anytime flow is away from me, flow is away, I shuffle. Be patient and shuffle, shuffle, shuffle until I know. Don't go till you know, but when you know, go. Quarterback pulls the ball. I'm running inside out, inside out. Again, if I make a mistake, I'm going to make it on my back because I'm cross reading. Now, front side safety. His job is to contain the football. Pat, pat, quarterback coming to me now. I make sure I make that quarterback stay inside, inside. I missed the tackle. We're going to miss the tackle outside. We're going to miss this tackle outside. If we ever miss, we're going to miss it in the proper leverage because we have pursuit coming inside out right here. My job is to contain the ball. I'm the contained element. If this ball ever get outside of me, Houston, we got a problem. So we want to make sure we stay outside, contain the ball, take him inside. Now this is where web come in. I'm shuffle, shuffle. Now we're coming in. We're going to web this ball together. We're going to web this ball together. As I come down, if I'm the strong safety, as I come down, I'm looking at the near knee, the near leg. I want to stay outside of that near leg. If that leg get outside, I'm getting width. Make sure if he try to go outside, I'm getting width on that leg. Make sure that leg turning it back. Okay, again, if I miss the tackle, I'm missing it outside. Backside safety going inside out. I'm going to make this tackle with my right shoulder, keeping my right shoulder inside of this guy. So now we're both going to web this play right here. We're going to web this play. We have a big responsibility if we're the force guy, because if we don't get the ball contained, we can have a problem. It get outside the defense, that's where big runs are made. Now, and it's not the end all if I miss this play. I got to do my responsibility. Number one, contain the ball. Number two, let's make the play. One, contain the ball. Two, let's make the play. I'm the backside safety. I'm running inside out as fast as I can to go blow it up, inside out. So there, we're webbing the ball. All right, let's look at a zone give. All right, we got zone give now. Same rules. Same rules. We're going to key the near leg, but we start with our keys. Pat, pat. We're getting run. Always reading the end man on line of scrimmage to a cross read. End man on line of scrimmage to a cross read. Got play act. He's handing it right here. Handing it right here. Hitting it inside. We both should be there together. It's all right over here if the safety beat me to it. I had longer to go. No problem. Here, anytime the ball is between the tackles, we must get there together. We must get there together. And what does that breed? That breeds some kind of, you got some competition going on here. I'm going to beat you to the ball. And once you get this going, more than likely these guys are going to be unblocked. They're going to be unblocked, so, I mean, they're going to have a lot of tackles coming down into this box right here. So that's huge for us. Now, with that being said, we're going to web this ball, and when we come in, I'm going to hit it with my left shoulder. I'm going to hit it with my right shoulder. We want to tackle the ball. Tackle the ball, carry all the way to the ground. And let me also hit this, too. Anytime we have a pile right here, it could be piled out. I can hardly tell what's going on. But still, I want to go back to my groove. Don't go till I know, but when I know, I got to go. And if it's a pile right here, you got backers, D linemen, everybody is piled up in here, I still want to web the pile. Because what happens all the time, you get a big pile up in there, I get in there and I bury my nose, and what happens? It get outside of me. Well, who should be responsible for it? This safety. I'll go up, I'll web the pile. I'll fit up on the pile. And always looking out to keep that ball on my inside shoulder. So now, You still have a responsibility even when you have a big cloud of dust right here. Okay? So that's huge. It's all about playing your responsibility, and that's something we pride ourselves in, and that we don't take it lightly. But we got to go in and make sure again we're the last line of defense, and it's not over till we hear that whistle blow, and we're gonna keep it at that level of intensity until we hear that whistle blow, and that's our controlled aggression. Now, continue on our box fits. Let's look at speed option play, where the first thing we'll do if I'm the free safety is read the release of the tight end. Sometimes we could be a little bit off on that. Sometimes we could be a little bit off on this tight end because sometimes he's coming vertical to block the next level. A lot of times he's coming vertical to block the next, so that can hold me a little bit, which is fine. My alignment is outside. I pat. I be patient until I read it. But when I read through him, I see these guys coming at me where I got the force. So I got to get ready to run alley now. And my job, my responsibility is to stay outside, read the outside leg of this back. Now I'm the pitch player. Backside, what do I do when I see that? I'm reading it. Now I shuffle. This is an incorrect drawing. I should be shuffling. Then I'm sprinting the alley. Inside out. If the quarterback break free, I'm quarterback to pitch, inside out. Quarterback duck up under, I should be hitting him in the ear. If not, I'm running inside out, keeping the ball on my left shoulder over here, keeping the ball on my right shoulder over here. I am now the contained element on this side. I'm the contained player. I got to make this player cut it back. I got to make him cut it back into the defense that's flowing and that is pursuing to the football. And we pursue in a unique way that we don't run behind the same color jersey, but we're pursuing to make sure we can have an opportunity to get our hands on that runner, okay, all the way down to the goal line if that happens. So that's a speed option. Now we look at the same play to the weak side. I'm reading. I can be a little bit slow. If he's coming to cut off, I can shuffle. Now I'm inside out, quarterback to pitch. On the front side, if I'm the strong safety, I'm outside, keeping the ball on my left shoulder. If I'm on this side, keeping the ball on my right shoulder, inside out. I'm outside, making sure I contain the ball. Now, what if he doesn't pitch it? What if he just turn it up? I'm still going to pitch. I got to go take the pitch out. I'm inside out on the quarterback. Now, what happens if the quarterback is running outside and the pitch guy is running outside uncontested? No one for the quarterback, no one for the pitch. We always want to make the quarterback pitch the ball. Always want the quarterback to pitch the ball. If it's a 2-on-1 situation, let's make sure they execute the play. Let's make the quarterback be perfect in that situation. Now, let's look at a stretch play. We got a stretch going strong. The ball has been given. I'm playing with my eyes if I'm this safety. I got to be extra patient because this is a short edge. I pat, play with my eyes. Okay, the ball is gone. Now I can float inside out. Front side safety, I'm webbing the ball, keeping it on my right shoulder. I'm the force player. Reading through my key all the way to a cross read. And again, this is in cover 4 or cover Brown Sam, 2-man, where I'm run player first, I'm box fitter, I have contained. And I'm inside out, backside, inside out. We're still webbing the ball. Okay? Same thing right here. If you get some kind of simple dive play, anything to the inside, still reading our keys, outside in man on the line of scrimmage. We pat, and now we're getting ready to web the ball on the inside. Key in the near leg, make sure we're being great tacklers, being physical, tackling the ball to the ground. Again, if it's a pile, we're going to continue to fit up on the pile. I mean, if we got a cloud of dust right here, we're going to fit up on the cloud of dust, always expecting something to break from the outside. I'm responsible if we break outside on this side, keeping the ball on my right shoulder. Same thing on this side, keeping the ball on the left shoulder. Now, in doing all of these drills, one thing we'll do is make sure we throw some passes in there as well, off the play action. The best thing we've found is when you run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, then play action with it. And that's where the safeties get a realistic look, because we really got to help our safeties understand it's all patience. You got to be patient. You got to be patient. You got to read. That's why we start with a pat-pat. And, we'll start preseason with a pat-pat, but by the time we get to that third and fourth game, they're so used to being patient that they don't even use the pat-pat, but it's just a form teaching tool we use for beginners to start being patient, just to teach patience. But that's something that has worked very well for us. But we would definitely use, like for instance, if we were running speed option, let's say, let's go to a zone. Yeah, let's go to a zone play. If we were running some kind of zone keep, we would like to get this tight end right here and run vertical, just to check our safeties. Because number one, the first thing we talked about, play with your eyes. Play with your eyes. Read your keys. And I promise you, if you trust the eyes, you're going to be in great situation to make the play. Great situation. Defense fits up like a puzzle. If you do your part, it'll all come together. If you do your part, it'll all come together. Play with your eyes. Again, over here, we'll do the same thing. We'll use the same play action, but the first thing we'll do with this line, we'll vertical protect. We'll vertical protect. And that's a pass protection. So what should these safeties do? Pat, pat, and we should start backpedaling. But we have to do a great job with these safeties to show them the difference, because any offense knows that if you ever crowd the box with your safeties, they're going to try to throw it over your head. So we try to do a great job simulating those type things with our safeties, really feeding them in on the run, and try to get the ball behind them. And once they understand what the progression is, I think you can have a pretty good success with some safeties understand what's going on. Now, at the same time, we want our safeties to feel comfortable and confident in doing and playing the position. But we like to tell our safeties to play with the cape. Play with the cape. You're the superhero. We're asking you to play run and play pass. So those are the things we're really going to try to hit home with our safeties about. Okay? But that's box fits. Now I'm going to talk about zone drill right quick, something we do with our secondary. And when I say secondary, I'm talking about corners, safeties, and outside backers. Corners, safeties, and outside backers. This is something we'll do with our zone drill. Boundary corner always goes to the boundary. Boundary corner always goes to the boundary, and this is how we like to teach it. These are the different looks you'll get to the boundary. You can get a single receiver and a back. You can get a tight end and a receiver and a back. Or you can get twin receivers and a back. These are the three looks. If you're a boundary corner, you're going to see. They can only give you one of these three looks. Now, what's the different things they can do with the single receiver? It could be just a tight end over here with a back. It could be tight end wing on this side. Or it can be close right here, twin receivers. But for the most part, these are the look that the boundary corner sees all the time. He feels more comfortable playing this because this is what he sees in practice every day. Now, certainly the ball could be in the middle of the field, but 70% of the game, the ball is on the hash. So we're going to work at least 70% of practice with the ball on the hash. And that's the boundary corner. That's what he sees all the time. That's what he's going to be comfortable with on Saturday when we line up to play. The field corner. The field corner is always going to see this look always to the field. And this is what we like to show him. You got a pro, tight end, and a wide out, usually, with a back. Right here you got twin receivers and a back. Or you could see trips receivers with a back. So these are the looks we like to show the field corner on a lot of occasions. And obviously we can show quads over here if we needed to, if we felt like that's something we'll be seeing. Now I know you see a lot of two backs in the backfield. We just like to show it like that to them, just to say we've split the formation and we put a back over here to throw it to this side. And again, this is what we call zone drill. So it's all half. And we're going to be working this half, then we'll come over here and work this half. So on this side of the field, it'll be the wide corner, it'll be the free safety, it'll be the Sam or the nickel, and it'll be the Mike backer. On this side of the field, it'll be the wheel backer or the jack, corner, and strong safety over here. This side will be dead, and this side will be live. This side will be live, this side will be dead. So we'll go back and forth with that to make sure we get what we want. Now off of that, we'll throw all combination routes. All combination routes. So starting right here, let's say, and it could be whatever coverage we want to play. We could play anywhere from Brown Sam to cover 2 Reed to cover 4. We can do all of that right here and get everything we want out of it. But it'll all be combo coverage or our opponent's best passes. The most passes they've had success on, depending on tendencies. So it'll be balls thrown to the field on this side. It'll be balls thrown to the boundary on this side. Again, all these are all passes. It could be, and we'll split it up. You know, we'll do some drop back. We'll do some 3-step. We'll do some play action, and we'll do some screens. It'll be screening the boundary, screening to the field, screening, you name it, but it'll be everybody working as one. Now, after we do some zone drill, we'll put the whole picture together and do some full skelly. But that's exactly what this is out of zone drill. So let's look at some routes that we can see out of this formation, working just one side of the field. And the way we get all of our reps is we'll start 1 rep here, then we'll go here with a rep. And the way we have our depth chart, we call our first group A1, second group A2, third group B1, fourth group B2, if we get that far. Usually in this drill, time is of essence, so we usually get our first and second group. So it'll be the A1s and A2s getting all the groups. So for reps, A1 would start over here in the boundary, A1 would start right here, and then we'll go to the next play, A1 to the field go. Then we're back over here with A2s. A2 get a rep, then we're back to the field, A2. Now by that time, A1s is back up again over here ready to go. Okay? But it'll be 2 reps, 2 reps, 2 reps, 2 reps. And after that, we'll change the formation. And here we go. And we won't keep the ball on one hash. We'll move it over to the other hash and do the same rotation. Nothing changes out of that. The other good thing out of this, if we have corner blitz, we can work all of our blitz packages along with the passes out of the same formations. Nothing changes out of that in our zone drill. So we'll go a rep to the right in the boundary, a rep to the field. And that allows the boundary side to get back, scout receivers to get back, everything else to get ready to get set again to go for the next card. And it'll all be carded up. And again, we can run all of our blitzes out of all of this. Run all of our blitzes out of all of this and still get the same thing. Same thing right here. Nothing changes. And again, we'll take it to the other hash and get the same thing out of it. So this is something that we do quite a bit, a zone drill, and this is a way that we can get all of our corners, outside backers, safeties, and linebackers together and really emphasize and focus on half of the formation, one side or the other, and get a lot out of. So this is something that we do quite a bit of, which is zone drill. And we'll do this before we get to Skelly. We'll do this before we get to Skelly. That way we can have everything we're looking for as far as, we'll work on it before we see it in Skelly. We'll work on it before we see it in Skelly. We'll also do some formation adjustments out of this, where we'll take this guy over here and we'll motion him out to the field and just see how our backside adjusts, because that coverage can change backside. Same thing to the field. We'll line up here and we'll motion one to the field, and that'll change this coverage a little bit, but only that side that is up is live. Nobody backside is live now. Only that side that's up. So you got more eyes on one side to make sure we rep it up the way we need to rep it up and get the eyes on the guys that need to be coached. And we can take our time, get it done over here. And this also is a great way to practice this and stop the play, slow it down, replay it however you want to do it to this side, and also to match it to the back side. So it's been very helpful for us in zone drill. And one thing about this drill, we don't use a ball. We don't use a ball. We don't have to worry about a ball bouncing all over the place and wondering if we're making plays on ball. We want to make sure we match the routes in this deal. We want to match the routes, playing man or zone. Now, if we're playing man, we like the quarterback to go back, take his steps because our safeties read off the quarterback a lot. We like the quarterback to take his drop, look as if you're where you're going to throw it, and go through the full action of throwing the ball because that's going to determine how we break and who we pick up. But we'll do these drills without a ball. We found without using the ball, things go so much faster and smoother, and we get more reps in. And at the end of the day, if the more reps we get, we feel like the better we're going to be. And not just reps, but we get quality reps in doing it that way. So and this deal it's been very helpful for us using zone drill. The next thing would be Skelly right after this, and we go into Skelly rolling it. Now you got a ball in Skelly, and everything is full. You got the full formation working, and you get to see everybody from the front side to the back side breaking the routes and everything. But it's been very helpful for us, and it's a way we can tie everybody together and also get individual coaching in on each position. But this is some things we do as far as drills to perfect some of the coverages out of the 3-4 defense, and this is something that we'll continue to do and get better at.